Hi, this is David from Bournemouth Happy Mondays Ramblers Group. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a new walk in the Ramblers Walks Manager. Before I show you the Walks Manager, just to say that you'll need this information on the screen before you can create the walk. You need the walk name, the date, start time, estimated end time, leader name, description, starting point, grid reference, distance in miles, percent in feet. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, this is the Walks Manager homepage. You can see there's lots of information about Walks Manager. Over here on the right hand side, you can see, for example, the Walks Manager guide. So that tells you all about the Walks Manager, how it works. There's troubleshooting, FAQs, and so on. I'm not going to go into all of that stuff. Over here, you can see add an event or add a walk. So an event would be like we have a curry evening every now and again, or you can add a walk. But I'm not going to add the walk here. I'd like to work in the table view here. I'm going to leave you to explore list view and calendar view for yourself, but I'm going to go into table view. It's happening, but it's slow. This is one of the problems with the Walks Manager. It does tend to be fairly slow, the server. Until it goes. Okay, there we are. You can see down the bottom half of the page, it's a list of the walks in date sequence, and above the list of the walks there are some actions that you can do, and I'm actually going to do one now because I've got this junk walk here. I'm going to select that, and I am going to delete that and just remove it from the schedule. While that's happening, I'm going to point you to up the top here, where you can create a walk, the event, or you can upload a walk CSV. A walk CSV is an Excel spreadsheet with a whole list of walks in, which you can upload all in at one go. But I'm not going to cover that here. Our junk walk is still being deleted. Just hang a sec for that. Excuse me drinking my tea while we're waiting for things to happen. Sorry, this is so slow. Every now and again they ask me for comments about the Walk Manager, and one of my comments is always, "It is so slow." junk walk has been deleted. So here I'm going to go to create, and I'm going to add a walk. While that's working, actually the walk I'm going to add is in outdoor active, and I'm just going to choose one at random really. This one, this will do. So I'm going to open that up. You don't need to use outdoor active, but it's just handy for me to do. And I'm just going to copy the name of the walk. And here we are back at the Walks Manager. First thing it wants is the title of your walk, so I'm just going to paste that in. And now I've dated the walk. And you can type the date in, but it's good to use the date picker, so you can make sure that you're scheduling on the right day. So I'm just going to pick a date, 2nd of February, and start time, I'm going to 10 o'clock. Okay, and because I lead Bournemouth Happy Mondays, that's the only option here. And now I've entered that, I can see a list of the walk leaders. So I'm going to choose myself. You can see here under contact preferences, these are black, which means that information is available. For Christopher Moon, for example, these details have not been filled in by him, which they should be. But there you go. Right, just scrolling down a little bit. Use alternative contact details. I've never used that, so I'm going to save and continue. It's important to note that the individual walk is broken down into 4 web pages, and if you make any changes to a page, you must save and continue. If you come out of that page without saving and continuing, the changes will be lost. So saving that page. Okay, we're on to the next page now. But just before we go on to there, I mentioned the 4 pages. These are the 4 pages over here on the right hand side. Basic information, that's what we just looked at. Description, that's what we're looking at now. Location, we'll go on to, and grading. Alright, so description. I don't usually put a lot in, but I can cheese a little bit if I want, and I can go to something like ChatGPT, which I'm trying to open now. Yeah, and I can say, please create a paragraph about a walk around Wareham, including walking around the river. I'm just going to take that. Normally I'd have a look at it and maybe make some changes, but for the sake of this exercise, take that, copy it, and there you go. My description, additional details. I often say, just so it's clear, add a website link. Well, never use that. Refreshments available, kind of. Toilets available, kind of, but not where we're parking. So, but car parking is available. Okay. Add up to 5 images. I don't usually add any images. And now we save and continue. Okay. So we're on to location details now. Type of walk, it's going to be circular. My walk has a separate meeting point. I've never used that, but it's there. enter a start point. Now, I'm going to go back to Outdoor Active now. Here's my walk, and if I go to how to get there, I can see the career reference. So I'm going to copy that, switch back to here, paste in the career reference, press enter, and it comes up here. Yeah, and you can see it's on the map. Now I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Yeah, and you can see there's the car park. The pin is a little bit off, so I can actually just drop it in there. Won't make a huge difference, but there you go. That's just making sure it's correct, and it goes back to me the Ordnance Survey Gizreth, latitude, longitude, etc., etc. Location details. If I know the name of the car park, I can always put that in, but in this case, I'm just going to say and I'm going to save and continue. Right, while that's saving, okay, we're on to the next page. So, walk difficulty, moderate is what I usually use, which means, you're going to be walking. You've got strenuous there, technical. We're not doing any climbing, so we're never going to be using technical. Leisurely can be used for shorter walks, the 2 and 3 mile walks. So I'm going to say moderate here, and just scroll down a bit. It asks me for the distance and the ascent. I always put it in imperial miles and feet. So if I go back here, you can see it's 6.4 miles and the ascent is 174 feet. So 6.4 175. Estimated finish time. This is always a bit of a guess. I'm going to go with 13. Now I'm going to save and continue. I have previously said to the Ramblers it would be nice if there was a save and publish button. So if you were just changing one page, you could make those changes and just save and publish straight away. But that's not happened yet. And so here our walk is completely entered. It's got the name there, it's got the start time, finish time, there's the overview, there's all the information about it. So there's just one thing left to do really, and that is we have to publish it, because at the moment I can see it, but nobody else can see it. We don't submit for checking, we just publish. I press publish, and away it goes. Okay, so it says here the walk has been published. If I go back to table view, and here's the table view, and if we scroll down to the 2nd of February, there it is. But I'm not actually intending to do that walk, I don't think. Am I? No, I don't think so. So I'm going to delete that. Just before I delete it, I'm just going to run along here. You can see you can cancel a walk. The difference between cancelling and delete. If you delete it, it's just gone. If you cancel it, it still remains in the schedule but marked as cancelled. with a cancel explanation. Edit, you could go in and change any of the details. Export, I've never used. Publish, after any changes you must publish if you want it to be updated in the schedule. Uncancel is what it says. Unpublish, similarly. Duplicators are useful because, say you've got a date, you've got a walk in the future sometime and you want to do it next week, you can just duplicate that walk, and with the new duplicated walk, just change the date to where you want it to be. But for the moment, I'm just going to delete this walk that I've created, and I think that is the end of the video.